Hello, Sagittarius. Happy New Year 2017. Listen, I think this is going to be a great year. Now, I would have loved to done this on camera, but I'm changing out my camera gear. Not too happy with that old one, but listen, get your notepad and your pen ready because why? We're going to go through a whole lot of information of what you can come to expect in this new year. Typically, when I look at a full year like this, I like to follow the cycles of Mars, since Mars is the energy that allows us to climb and move towards our goals and our determination, and it shows us where our energy's at and what we can come to accomplish. But we're also going to go through all the retrogrades of the year, and so of course we got dates for you to jot down on your notebook. Now, listen, New Year's Eve, we're starting off with a fabulous Mars. It is conjunct Neptune. This means that it not only holds the power here and now on New Year's Day, but since these two bodies are going to infuse upon each other, Mars is left with an imprint and a signature of Neptune, which is going to allow us to move throughout the entire year. And what does that mean? What will Neptune do to Mars? Neptune is in a good shape here, which will now open up the ability for us to dream and dream big and wide, right? So make sure that your intentions here on New Year's Eve, which we always do on a New Year's Eve anyway, but this year is special. It's different because of Neptune's ability to allow us to envision that much stronger and clearer. The only thing we really need to be watchful for, Sagittarius, is that these dreams, these goals, are somewhat realistic too, only because Neptune can trip us up and bring in a couple of illusions, so we don't want that in. But here, don't stop dreaming. Now, as we start off on this journey, your Neptune, your Mars, rather said, is starting out in the area of your home, family, foundation, parents, and so forth. And so this is where Mars is going to be helping you to focus, to get up and going. It has already been there since that of December, so you already know how that is feeling at this point. But it is home repairs, things that need to be taken care of, maybe small projects and so forth. You have until January 29th to make that work. Then from the 29th into March 11th, Mars is moving into the most fun area of your chart, and that's the fifth house of joy, happiness, self expression, and creativity. It's time to kick back, have a little leisure, go do those hobbies that you've been lusting to do, and it also rules the area of love and children. So you could see here you have a couple of months to really just get in there and take it all out. Now, if you have a business that you would like to launch, well, this could be a great time to do so because Mars on your side denotes that you're super focused in this area to launch whatever project you might have. So if you have a business, you will have the energy to power through this. So from March 11th, Sagittarius, where Mars is helping you focus, is going to be your health related area. How you can improve your health, maybe start a diet, work out, that kind of thing, or just go get your annual checkup. But the sixth house is also all about work. Not necessarily career per se, but more how you work at your career, interaction with coworkers and so forth. This may become more so of an intense focus, and I see you being really active and also adding to what you can do to enhance the experience for your coworkers as well. But definitely it is holding you here in a great place to really start riveting up the area of health and so forth. As Mars moves into the sign of Gemini, your area of relationships, Mars is going to be supporting you to get up and going. There's a lot of fire, there's intensity, there's passion. So for you here, this will be April 22nd through June 5th. You'll have all this time to just see how you and your partner is doing. Now, for those of you, of course, who are single, you might ask, well, what about us, right? Well, even if you're single, listen, this is a great sign for you to be out and about, and because you are like a magnet and can attract the right person if you are looking for it. Until June 5th, I also see that whatever issues that have been swept under the carpet, just make sure that you know that these can arise at this time. So Mars wants to take care of it. Mars only will go through your relationship area once every 2 years. So we want to make the most of it right here, right now, get all our ducks in a row, right? Get on the same page. And, the thing I want to let you in on a little secret because Mars can only be in one area of our chart at any given point in time. So if it's working over here and you're not really focusing on it, then it's like Mars is really plowing through something that you're not really making the most of because you're trying to, say, launch a business where Mars is absolutely not present. So if you ever ask yourself, like, why isn't anything happening? I'm working so hard. I'm treading water. All this energy is going out and nothing is coming back. Well, Mars is probably working at some other area of your chart. This is why it's always good to know where Mars is so you can work alongside with it and get all that free energy that can lift you. So from June 5th, Mars will move into Cancer, the sign of Cancer, which is so nurturing, so giving, so loving. It's also in the 8th house, which is the Scorpio house, though. And this allows us to go that much deeper when it comes to intimacy, what we truly think, what we truly feel. Mars is going to dig down into that core, and boy, are we going to feel it. This is a time to share with your partner where you're at, what you're wanting, thinking, and intending. Up ahead, it's the area of shared resources. Are you giving at a fairly equal amount to one another? Are your scales a little bit unbalanced? Well, Mars will make sure that it balances out. All the differences will come out until the scales are good. But also it will help you to look at your finances, Sagittarius. Not necessarily your day-to-day, or should I say monthly income. That's more so your second house. The 8th house is all about looking at royalties, commissions, any kind of investment payouts. It could be inheritances and so forth. So, yeah, if you're expecting a payout, well, Mars will definitely help you get to it. So this is a good time for you to expect maybe a lawsuit payout, whatever the case might be for you. At least Mars is on your side. When Mars moves into Leo, this is a sister sign of yours. That is July 21st. Great time because now not only is Mars enhancing this area of your chart where your mind is wanting to expand, this has to do with your philosophical outlook in life, those higher thoughts that we have, trying to find our place in the universe and cosmos, but it also has to do with higher education. Maybe you will feel prompted now that Mars is pushing you to go get and take that class, right? Or get back into fixing or finalizing your degree. Now, the 9th house also has to do with foreign people and places and countries. You might feel really an urge to travel. In that case, this would be an excellent time for you to do so. This is, again, July 21st until September 9th. Beautiful time for you to have vacation. If you're looking for any lawsuits, well, Mars here will help you do that. It's all about justice here in this area. But also, don't forget, though, the 9th house is the preparatory stage before we look into your career area. So whatever research you might be doing now, and if you are among those Sagittarians looking for a new job, this is the time slot you want to put out your applications. Why? Because once Mars goes into Virgo, which is your career and career area, which is September 6th to October 23rd, this is when Mars can lift you like on an elevator up the career ladder. I can see here this is the top of your achievements from the last 2 years. If you've done everything right, if you've done your preparatory steps and so forth, this is a time when doors can open up. It's you now forging forward, Sagittarius, and you are a fire sign and Mars is fiery. It's time to talk to the bosses. If you don't necessarily have a review coming up, you could probably maybe ask for a talk if you're thinking that it is time for a promotion Not normally that we go after it ourselves, but you could be very lucky here and have them come to you and promote you right now. So from October 23rd, Mars will move into the sign of Libra. Now, this is your social area, Sagittarius, which has anything to do with social media, how you reach out to group, organizations. New friends might come in, and they would be rather Marsy themselves, feisty, people who are action oriented, not prone to procrastination. You can get a lot done here, interacting with your friends, having support, being supportive to them here also. Hopes and dreams are also a part of this area of your chart. Mars is firing it up, just like Mars and Neptune were there on top of the year. You're feeling that drive again, that yes, I want to accomplish, yes, I want to move forward. Good for you. Use it while you can, because once we get into December 10th, it will move into your 12th house, and Mars won't go to sleep. It's not like a retrograde. And remember, Mars is not retrograding this year, but it goes behind the scenes, meaning that you might just feel a need to pull back and work on your own stuff, think your own thoughts. It's time to meditate. It's time to visualize. It's time to be creative. It's a very creative energy and place to host Mars, but it's working behind the scenes with whatever ideas that you might have now, preparing itself for what now can shoot forward and branch off in 2018. That won't be coming here by the end of this year, but use this time in December, after December 10th. You will know when that comes, where you're going to start listening to the inner self. Now let's turn over to the retrogrades, and we have a long list of them here this year. And we're already in a Mercury retrograde. When we start off the year, it turned retrograde in December 19th, 2016, and will be retrograde to January 8th. So that's the last year's retrograde. The first one of this year coming in will be April 10th through May 4th. For you, Sagittarius, since it is retrograding in Taurus, that will show up in your 6th house, has to do with your health, has to do with your day-to-day routines, how you work and how you can organize. Mercury is going to give you extra time here. Might slow you down, but that's a good thing. It will slow you down enough so you can actually pay attention to it and even recognize what needs to be organized. Then we have August 13th through September 5th. Mercury will retrograde in the sign of Virgo. We'll go a little bit back to 28 degrees Leo, so it will dip into your 9th house. But basically, most of this energy here in this phase will be in your career field. So don't allow it to frustrate you, but there could be some delays for a purpose. There's always a purpose, but it gives you that time to look back over what have you achieved now until August 13th. How does the year look like? At this point, what is it you want to change up? What can you tweak or redo? This is actually, a wonderful place to have retrograde so that you have more time to focus there. It is your career, which again is your security for the future. So good for you, Sagittarius. September 5th, then you can start moving forward again. December 3rd, this retrograde will take place in your own sign there in Sagittarius, your 1st house. Now, the 1st house is always all about you, what it is you want, what you desire. It's also how you reach out to the world at large. The 1st house is always how people see you, their first impression and so forth. You might go back over here. What needs to be done? What do I want to change, tweak, fix, or bring in? So, yes, you'll have 2 to 3 weeks there. Plus, of course, when it goes direct, so it's a longer time here, you're definitely going to be honing in on your persona under this retrograde. Speaking of persona, well, let's speak about Venus. And Venus is retrograde because why? Venus rules beauty, it rules love, and it rules money. So all of these things might just go a little bit out of sync for us. It's not a time to go get any lip fillers or any plastic surgery or any tattoos, piercing, or not even looking for a new wardrobe or even a hairstyle. We want to hold off to after April 15th. March 4th, April 15th, not a good time to get that up and going. When it comes more so to the romantic side, well, we're going to be digging in there too, looking at what works, what doesn't work, how we can improve. Now, it is retrograding in the sign of Aries, which is in your fifth house for joy and happiness and romance and children and self expression and the arts and so forth. So, here it could be a nice thing to have a little prolonged period where you can go in and redo and get all those details, master it even better because now we have time because everything else is slowing down. That's the benefit of this retrograde. It will dip back into your fourth house for family and so forth. 26 degrees there of Pisces before it turns direct again. So you'll have a little bit of family issues as well, maybe caring for an elderly parent or whatnot, or also maybe redoing, fixing something in the home decor. And something that was done earlier and now retrograde is having to look at it and maybe redo it. For that, it could be good as well. Now, Mars, as mentioned earlier, Mars is not retrograding all year, so Mars is heading down that super highway. We are just in a very quick lane to accomplish, to achieve. Mars is full of our drive. But let's stop here at Jupiter. Jupiter will retrograde between February 6th to June 10th. This will be in the sign of Libra, currently in your 11th house for friendships and also new people coming in, and you could come to travel perhaps somewhat, and if you do, there could be some delays due to this retrograde, but it's also how you're reaching out with and working with social networks and so forth. See how you can benefit from it by slowing down enough to look at what you have achieved from New Year's to this point in time, all right, to February 6th, what you achieved there in 2016. Was it good enough? Did you get the expansion that you were hoping for, or did it not? And then ask yourself why. Why didn't it give you your hopes and dreams, which the 11th house is a key word for? And if it didn't work out, well, maybe now is the time that you can go in and rework it so that once Jupiter goes direct again, June 10th, that it can pick up some speed and then start delivering the goods, right? Then we have Saturn, Saturn the taskmaster, which is very karmic in its nature. For you, Saturn is touring your first house. A lot of you Sagittarians have been feeling that you've been structuring your life differently than in the past. It only tours your first house once every 28 years and stays there for about 2 to 2.5 years. You're pretty much into it by 21 degrees here as we start off the year, but it will retrograde when it reaches 27 degrees, okay, nearly through the sign. Then it's going to stop and it's going to retrograde back to 21 degrees. Now, when Saturn retrogrades, it's time for us to look at our karma and our karmic bank, so to speak. All the good things that we have achieved, what we've done for others, what we've done for ourselves, what have we built, how does the structure, how does the foundation of our life look like? You want to go back and ask and see what it's been doing here for the last 2 years, all right? Because you're at the last leg of Saturn's transit. And this would be the time for you to fix, mend, do whatever you can do to improve it. And the slowdown is for that very reason. It's more like giving you second chances to look at things. And so once you get to August 26th, this transit, this retrograde will be over. Saturn will be picking up speed again, slowly but surely, and it will leave your sign here in December 21st, and will be done with you having to look at how you are performing, your persona. Then it will move into your second house. That has to do with money. So money is going to be in your focus quite deeply over the next 2.5 years from December onwards. But more on that later. Let's talk about Uranus, which has really brought a lot of changes into your love life, hasn't it? Uranus is always that planet of the unexpected, happy, good surprises, shocking surprises, the oh my God, what just happened, the unexpected. More so, maybe on the downside, surprises. It will retrograde August 3rd and straight throughout the rest of the year. So it will lay low. It won't bring you a whole lot of these unexpected twists and turns. We have Neptune. Neptune will retrograde June 16th through November 23rd. It will retrograde 14 degrees in Pisces in your fourth house. You have for a long time now been looking at the foundation of your life, trying to build it, and sometimes it feels like it slips, like water will slip through your fingers. Every time you feel you got a good grip, then something else comes in. It dissolves, and that is the nature of Neptune. For any of you living around water bodies, big bodies of water, just make sure that your domain is protected against leaks from rains or floods. A lot of you will feel that or endure that here while Neptune is cruising through your fourth house. But going retrograde, it will allow these things now to actually slow down and just bring peace. Neptune is also very harmonious, wanting that beautiful, spiritual, artistic energy into your home. Neptune is that higher dimension of Venus, and so of course your home is full of love. Wrapping things up here for you, Sagittarius, Pluto is the last planet we're going to speak of when it comes to retrograde, and Pluto is all about transformation. Now, you probably know that this has been in the area of your income sector, and it has been working here for several years now, trying to transform the way you look at money. Once this planet is out of your second house, you won't look at money the same way as you used to do in the past. It's changing your value system from material to spiritual, back to material, trying to find the perfect balance of what really works for you. Now, when it retrogrades April 4th to September 29th, it will retrograde 19 degrees in Capricorn. It will go back to 16 degrees. So normally when it goes retrograde, we don't really notice it because it's so far out there in the solar system. It's just that feeling, that drive to have to keep pushing for income might just let go a little bit so you can take a little break. So we're going to wrap it up. We got one total solar eclipse this year, August 21st, 2017, and there's already a whole lot of buzz about this because it will be seen over North America. And that's not always so when there's a solar eclipse. There's people who travel to the other side of the world just to be able to be present and witness that beautiful diamond that comes out of that eclipse. I will get back to it when we get a little closer just to see what it's going to do for you astrologically, right? So listen, I want to say Happy New Year. May you have tons of blessings and may it be a prosperous year for you. And I'll see you again here really soon when it comes to your January forecast.